What's up, guys? Frisky Fishing coming at you. Today we are going to go over the Ned rig, how I tie it on, what knot I use. We're also going to be going over how I fish it, the tips and tricks I've learned over the past years of me fishing this Ned rig. I'm also going to be showing you guys how I tie my uni knot. Stay tuned, we'll have it all packed up right here. Remember, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and we'll get right out of here. Enjoy. Alright guys, so over the past couple years I've been fishing the Ned rig. I don't know why it's getting so much negative info lately I've seen on the internet and YouTube and stuff about the Ned rig. Personally, it's one of my top 5 confidence baits. I noticed that, you know, throughout the season, as you get past your post spawn, you noticed once you get closer to winter time, in between that winter time and summertime, it does get a little rough fishing the Ned rig, and that all comes down to location on where you're fishing for the bass. I love fishing for smallmouth. Honestly, it's one of my favorite fish, one of my favorite bass to fish for. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you we'll start off how to put the soft plastic on your shroom jig head. This is just a regular shroom jig head right here. So these come in all shapes and sizes, different hooks. I mean, he got some of these right here. These are your EWG. These are the Z-Man Shrooms. And I am not sponsored by Z-Man. I will actually be switching over to Bass Hog Baits. He will be making all my Ned rigs, Ned heads, whatever you want to call them. He'll be making all these for me. So I will be switching over, and I will be slowly phasing out my Z-Man stuff. But let's get to it. I'm going to show you here. What I have here is Z-Man Finesse TRD Green Pumpkin. Almost all the lakes I fish are super clear. So I mainly stick to more of the natural colors, and one of my favorite colors is the green pumpkin. So what we're going to do here, first thing you want to do, these baits are super, if you're going to get into Z-Man baits, these baits are super durable, super strong, very stretchy. It is a little complicated to get these hooks through there, because what you want is you want these baits perfectly straight on this hook. If it's any further back or any further forward, you're not going to get the right movement out of this bait. You want that thing straight up and down, straight horizontal with that hook. You want that bait coming off the back. So what we're going to do is we're going to go straight down. Also, these Z-Man TRDs, they have little ribs. Those are going to go on the back. So you're going to put this part on the hook, and the ribbed part of this bait is going to be on the back. The reason why is when a bass eats this, or just very finicky bass start grabbing this, they feel that texture in their mouth, and it could make them commit and eat the whole bait. So what we're going to do is we're going to go straight down through. Like I said, it is pretty tough to get the hang of it, but once you do, see, even someone that does it all the time can mess it up. It's super. So that's what you're looking for. is just straight up and down from your jig head off the back of the hook. Just like so. Great action. And the Z-Man baits, they float, so when this thing goes down in the water and it's sitting there, that bait is sitting straight up and down. Pop it, straight up and down. Get off. Let's get on to this. The Ned Rig, super finesse. You are not fishing this bait fast. You are fishing this bait slow. You're fishing this bait slow. There's a few different methods to fishing this bait. One method that I've found very, very effective is just throwing this thing as far as you can and let it sink right to the bottom. Let it sink right to the bottom, and what you're going to do is you're just going to drag it. Slow and steady. Dragging it. Reel up your slack. Drag it. Nice and slow. Pick up your slack. Now when you're dragging that, when a fish hits that, you're gonna feel pressure. And what you want to do is reel down on them and pull your rod tip up. Just reel down, pull the rod tip up ever so slightly, and you're gonna hook that fish. You're gonna hook them good. Almost all the time, you're gonna hook them right in the top of the mouth. And if you play that fish the right way, you're gonna have yourself a fish in the boat. The next method of doing this and fishing this Ned Rig is gonna be, I found it very effective. What I do is I'll cast it out far as I can, and I'm gonna drag it a little bit. But at the top of my drag, I'm just gonna do 1 or 2 pops. Reel up my slack. Drag a little bit. Couple pops. Reel down. Now, probably about 80% of the time, this is where I get my bites. Is when I'm reeling up my slack, going down, and I go to drag it, and if you feel weight, that is more than likely it's going to be a fish. You feel weight, reel down on them, and let that rod tip do the work, and just set the hook. That whole motion of you reeling down and that rod tip going in, it's going to set the hook on that bad boy. And again, you're going to go hook them right in the top of the mouth. 80% of the time, that's what's going to happen. You can also swim these. Cast it out, let it sink, and just swim it. Just a nice steady motion. You don't have to throw no jerks in there or anything like that. It all depends on what the fish want that time of day or that day. So what I use for my Ned Rig rod is probably not what everyone uses. I am using a this is my Ned Rig / smaller finesse jigs. This is a Phoenix M1. This is a 7/8 medium extra fast tip. So this does have a lot of, it's got that bend in there. So when I say reel down on the fish and let your rod do the rest, that medium action is just, it's going to set the hook on them. All you have to do is reel down. I got this paired up with this is a Daiwa. I think it's the Regal LT. It's 2500. So I mean this rod with the Ned Rig has caught me a lot of fish. They're a little bit pricey, the Phoenix M1s. This one was about 200. Reel on the low end. This is about a $50 to $60 reel, depending on where you find it. Like I said, this rod, I don't know. I just like to use it for my Ned Rigs and my finesse football jigs, anything like that. Finesse, I'm using this rod. Let's get to, I'm going to do a double thing here. I'm going to go over the Ned rig. And I'm going to show you guys how to tie the uni knot. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you with this big bait here. So the uni knot, I don't know why I'm stubborn, but this is like the only knot I use. And I know there's different knots for different methods, but this is what I use. And I've never lost a fish. The only reason I've lost a fish is because something I did, drag too tight, not checking my leader. So what we're gonna do here, I've caught a, gosh, it was up at Lake Ontario. I caught I think it was like a 14-pound sheep's head, and this knot held up. I mean, so what we're gonna do, let's go through the eye here. So you're gonna come up with something that looks like that. This is your main line, tag end on the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, we're going to make a loop. The loop goes in front of that. I'll show you guys again, making a loop. Just like that. Here's your main line, tag end. And what we're going to do around your main line and the top of that loop, you're going to wrap it. And wrap it. Come through the loop you made here. I'm only going to go around 2 times with this. This is just some paracord I have here. It depends on what. So if I'm tying this with 6-pound, I'm going to wrap it around probably 6 to 7 times. A 12-pound, maybe I'm going to wrap it around 4 times. It all depends on what line you're using. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull it tight. Before you pull that super tight and pull it into your bait, you're going to wet it. You're just going to pull that baby right in. Pull your main line. Pull your tag in. Get that nice and snug. And that knot is super effective. This is the uni knot. And then you'll just clip off your tag end, and like I said, it's super fast, super quick, super easy. If you have to retie on, you're back in the water in no time. So that is the uni knot. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, just throw them down in the comments. I'll put a link down in the description on the jig heads I showed you today and the baits, if you need to check those out. Usually I'm using anywhere from 6-pound leader all the way up to a 10 or 12-pound leader, depending on where I'm fishing. So, and if I could tell you guys anything, if you're going to have your Ned rigs, this thing is super awesome. Just a regular jig box. That way your hooks stay super sharp. That's what you want for these Ned rigs. You want a super sharp hook. That way you're not messing around at all. That hook is driving right up in the top of their mouth. And it's very rare that you lose a fish. If you play them the right way, you're not going to lose a fish with a super sharp hook. It's going to go right up through the top of their mouth, right up through that main part of their mouth, and no skin hook. As you can see, I'm going to be phasing all these out. I got a new sponsor for my soft baits, Stump Thumper Baits. You can check them out on Instagram. Bass Hog Baits, you can check them out on Facebook. I'll throw them down in the description. Go ahead and check out Stump Thumper Baits, man. He does a great job. He does a great job on making baits. Anything you want, custom, he can do it for you. You think it up, he can do it. Check him out on Instagram, Stump Thumper Baits. So, but that's all I have for you guys today. I'm trying to keep myself busy. Right now we're in the slow season. It's winter time. I mean, as you can see, we got snow on the ground. I'm thinking mid-March, April, we're going to be back out in the water making videos, fishing, and getting ready for our first tournament June 15th on Cayuga Lake. It's gonna be a blast. Last year, the tournament we fished there, the bag that won it was over 30 pounds of smallmouth. Crazy. State record got caught that day. 8.6 pound smallmouth out of Cayuga Lake, New York. It's just wicked. But we're gonna take the old bass tracker out there and give it a whack, see what happens. You know, I'm not giving up. I'm not quitting on this. I'm gonna keep chugging along, and we'll see what happens. But thanks for watching my videos. As always, please subscribe and like. This is just what I love to do. I love to fish, and if I can take you guys along for the adventure, I will. Any chance I get, I'm gonna have my GoPro on, recording and making videos for you guys. So please tag along for the adventure. And as always, tight lines, Frisky fishing out. Bah!